Yes.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. And hello, everybody. And thank you for having me here today. As you mentioned, my name is Elmedina Krilasevic, and I'm a senior program coordinator for Nature-Based Solutions Finance within IUCN. And today I will be presenting the Nature Plus Accelerator Fund, or what Simon has referred at the beginning as one of the innovative models for financing nature and doing that in a direct manner. So next slide, please. And to give you a little bit of context in terms of the need for innovative investment vehicle that has actually meant to provide financing for nature positive investment deals, originally has originated from the collaboration within the Coalition for Private Investment in Conservation, or CIPC, that IUCN founded together with Credit Suisse, with TNC and Cornell University back in 2016. And for this purpose, IUCN secured $8 million in concessional financing from Global Environment Facility that is meant to attract and de-risk larger private sector finance. And in that context, soon after, Mirova Natural Capital came on board as a partner to help structure the fund. And through 2020, we have co-designed an investment vehicle that is meant to address some of the pertinent gaps in the nature investment space. So this is how the Nature Plus Accelerator Fund came together. It is worth highlighting that the fund is uniquely positioned to address the largest barrier to investment, which is lack of investable projects, and is doing that by focusing on small ticket, early stage, and high impact projects. It borrows some features from traditional accelerators, but it's a commercially operated fund, and it's using best-in-class tools to measure impact, such as the STAR metrics and Nature-Based Solutions Global Standard. And on this slide here, I wanted to briefly show you this graph as an indication where Nature sits, or Nature Plus Fund sits within in the context of additional current funds and accelerators. So it's right at the frontier between the nonprofit and for-profit, and capturing this what we call the missing middle, where the opportunity lies as well for the fund. Next slide, please. So currently, the fund is at the end of the first round of fundraising, with a first close that is scheduled for the beginning of 2022. Nature Plus aims to raise capital from both public and private sources to reach, so it's a blended finance vehicle to reach 50 million in equity for the fund, while the aim for the fund is to grow a $200 million portfolio towards the end of the investment period. It will invest in projects and enterprises that have a transformational and positive outcomes to biodiversity, to climate and communities through local development. As in terms of size, you can see that it's a smaller fund, but it's meant to be highly catalytic and focusing on the smaller ticket size from 100K through the seed window, and then going towards $1+ million and $5+ million through early venture and venture windows. And it's going to be using instruments such as debt and equity. In terms of its investment approach, the investment deals will qualify, and potentially they are going to go through the investment stages. So as I mentioned, there will be the seed window that is targeting the projects with an early concept where feasibility has not been demonstrated yet. And then early venture that targets projects with a proof of concept that already has some tangible benefits and revenues. And finally, the larger venture window that will be providing follow-on funding for the successful investments from the first two stages that I mentioned. So this is the reason why the ticket range is so wide. And in terms of geography, it covers, in terms of sectors and thematics, it's quite broad, but it's good to mention it's a global fund and it meant to support developing economies or project developing economies. Next slide, please. Thank you. On the fund's partners, so public investors to the fund is Global Environment Facility and Central African Forest Initiative that is channeled through IUCN with additional technical assistance that it's offered by IUCN. Mirova is the fund manager, and Mirova is utilizing their substantial experience in investing in natural capital, and of course, it's supported by CIPC, which is the world's greatest coalition for conservation finance, supporting capacity and sourcing of investment deals. Next slide. In terms of impact, we expect that the fund will significantly contribute to biodiversity and ecosystem conservation by measurably reducing the risk to threatened species. And it will also be contributing to the goals of the Paris Agreement, as well as the UNCCD and Sustainable Development Goals. And also this initiative will act as a proof of concept for MBS projects that are aligned with the IUCN global standards for nature-based solutions. So in order for us to achieve these goals and make sure that the fund investments are meaningful and that they're going to be impactful, it is imperative for us to identify the project pipeline that is going to have the most potential to be both financially viable, but also to create significant environmental and social outcomes, and that these projects can be accelerated and scaled up to the market. So in that context, our message is, if you're aware of viable and innovative projects that are being implemented in the countries, the developing economies that need financing and acceleration, we would like to know about them. Thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Elmedina.